Hey guys, and welcome to the Happy Hour. My name is Jimmie Ivey, and I'm your host every single week. And the Happy Hour is just what it sounds. It's girlfriends getting together and chatting. Imagine you're with us. It'd be just like if you went to a happy hour with your girlfriends. What would you talk about? That's what we do here on the Happy Hour. We talk about our lives. We talk about our kids, what's going on in the world, new stuff we're up to. It's so much fun. And each week I get to have an amazing guest with me. And this week is no different. This is Happy Hour number 21, and this week I actually have two guests with me. My friend Laura Ingram and Kimberly Stewart both stopped by to chat. This week we chat about how much do we let our kids play outside? How much do we trust them to walk to our neighbor's house? We also talked about birthday parties. I really struggle with birthday parties. I just never can seem to get my act together. And so Laura and Kimberly both share their birthday ideas. We also talk about chores. I recently created a chore chart, and it's working so wonderful for my kids. And then we talk about how I hate wearing jackets. It doesn't get that cold in Austin, so I never feel that I really need to wear them. So real quick, I want to say thank you to a couple people who have left comments. Denise left a comment on my blog that said, I love this podcast just as I've loved all the ones before. I discovered your podcast when you were maybe 3 to 4 episodes in, and I'm sad there isn't a huge archive of them to listen to. I subscribe to about a dozen podcasts, but yours is always the first one I listen to. Keep them coming. Thank you, Denise. Also, Katie J. Shannon left a comment on Instagram. She said, I've been binge listening to Happy Hour podcasts in my daily car trips. Katie, thanks for binge listening. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Jamie_Ivey. It's Ivey. And on Instagram, it's just at Jimmie Ivey. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. And until then, I hope you enjoy my podcast guest today on the Happy Hour, my friends Laura and Kimberly. Okay, welcome to the Happy Hour. Today, I have two of my favorite friends in the world. And actually, this is the first time I've recorded a podcast where we're all in the same room. So y'all are my guinea pigs.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, usually I do this over Skype. If you don't know that and you're listening, I don't get to travel where all these amazing people are. I just Skype them. But today, we're around my dining room table. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just ate tacos from my favorite place. If you live in Austin, Tyson's Tacos. Okay, Laura, tell everyone that's listening just who you are.
Okay, I am wife to Jimmie Ingram and mother to 2 baby girls and I should say toddler and baby.
Yeah, she's almost 3. That's not a baby.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And I luckily live about 5 houses down from you ladies. And what else do you want to know?
Yeah, I didn't say that. We all live on the same street.
Yes.
Which is the best thing in the world.
Yes.
What else do people need to know about you? You used to work at the Buckle, which I think is cool because that's when we met.
Cool. Yes.
You were the manager, which means you looked phenomenal every single day of your life.
I have continually let people down by my appearance from those days. So if you met me when I worked at the Buckle and you met me now, you'd be like, really? So
I think you're better now.
Well,
with spit up on you and
spit up, like a lot less makeup, a few less layers.
Yes, y'all layered a lot.
We layered a lot. Far fewer accessories. Although I have got revamped my accessories. Noonday
every
day,
for the win,
all the day, and so.
When you worked at the Buckle, I would go in there. Who was the guy that would help me?
Michael.
I felt like I had my own personal shopper.
Yes.
I'm sure y'all did that to everybody, but Michael made me feel amazing.
Michael had skills.
And so I would try on a pair of jeans and he'd be like, oh my gosh, your butt looks amazing. And I'm like, I want them. I must have these. So
you should probably clarify why it was okay for Michael to say that.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't attracted to me.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah. So that was okay. Yeah. Otherwise it would have been weird. You're
right.
It might have been weird. Aaron would have been upset, but Aaron was not upset. He was like, whatever Michael says, yes.
And I remember Michael, not shyly inviting himself to my wedding because he had dressed all my friends and he thought it was appropriate.
I wish he would have dressed me for your
Didn't
wedding.
He pick out Aaron's clothes, I think.
I'm sure he did.
So anyway, he was like, I think I should get to go. And then he totally stole the show in his hot pink button down, sharp dress and
so
his hair.
Fun.
Yeah. So
to the wedding.
To the wedding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone else was semi-casual besides Jimmie and I and Michael, pretty much.
Michael was awesome. So that's when I met Laura. And then, I met you worked at the Buckle, but you started dating Jimmie, who was in Aaron's band.
Right.
So that was how many years ago?
we got married in 2007, so we must have met in the fall of 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was so busy, and the guys were so busy that Jimmie and I pretty much dated on Wednesdays, and then I dated you and Maris for the other 5 days. And
so y'all dated on Wednesdays, and you had like 26 dates, and then you got married.
Probably.
Yeah, because y'all got married quick.
Yeah. So I remember like distinctly being like, I'm really good friends with Maris. Like, I don't know, because, you know, you had babies then. So Maris and I would hang out and, like, cry over Grey's Anatomy and things like that. And then I remember there was a time when Jimmie said, I really hope this works, because Jamie said she's going to be your friend, whether we, get married or not. And I was like, well, that will be awkward. So
that's always funny when you have, like, you already have a friend, especially if it's like a guy, like Aaron and Jimmie. We've known Jimmie for years, and then brings this girl in, and it's always like, I like her. Don't mess this up. That's what I always want to say.
Always. How many times did you say that?
Never. Okay. I never knew Jimmie to have a girlfriend at all. Did he?
Yeah. No, I think he went on some dates.
Okay.
But
I never saw a girl with him.
Yeah. He says he usually, like, they would reach the, like, let's just be friends stage.
Yeah. It's always fun.
I know. So.
Okay, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Kimberly.
Kimberly, not Kim.
Not Kim.
No.
I've never called you Kim, but I do know. So let's talk about this real quick. So you're Kimberly Stewart.
Yes.
And
not Kim's.
you always introduce yourself as Kimberly. Okay.
Yes.
But I have another friend named Jen.
Mm-hmm.
But when she introduces herself to people, she says, I'm Jennifer Carter.
Okay.
I've heard her say that many times.
Yes,
but I know her as Jen.
Yes.
So I wonder if when you introduce yourself as Kimberly, do some people feel like, oh, I bet she goes by Kim?
Sometimes. And then depending on the person, I'll correct them. Yeah, sometimes. Well, I have friends named Kim too. And so I'm always like, they're Kim and I'm Kimberly. And in college, I always wanted to be called Kimberly. And so my roommates would kind of joke like, okay, we know you don't want to be called Kim. And so they took the other half of my name, Burley, Berly, and that became my nickname. So everyone in college, like my college friends, call me Burley. But then that's confusing to tell people because it's like a burly man.
Yeah, that is confusing.
That's the other half of my name.
I never knew that.
Kimberly or Burley to some of my college
Burley.
friends.
That is awesome.
And your last name's Stewart, and your husband goes by Stu.
Yes, and he's not Stu Stewart.
But that's
They're
what
very
you.
Complicated
I
names.
say that all the time. Well, in my phone, I think it even says like Stu Stewart.
Okay, so it's Michael Stewart, and in college too, he got a nickname Stu because there were two Michael Stewarts, and the Stewarts were spelled two different ways. So one of his friends called him Stu.
And it stuck.
Or Stewie. Yeah, they'd say Stu, and so they distinguished between, there was a Michael Stewart, there was I think a Matt Stewart, and then there was Stu, because you just couldn't have two Michael Stewarts. Yeah.
Funny story about Stu, your husband, when we first moved here, I mean, you know when you first move someplace that you're just like, you're nervous about meeting new people and everything, and I knew that it was Michael Stewart, and so I saw him one time, and I called him Michael, and he was like, don't call me that, my name's Stu. But I always feel like you have to earn people's nicknames.
Sure.
You know, like, you have to earn the right to call someone by their nickname, but he was like, that's not my name, and I was like, oh, this is good, Stu.
Well, I think Austin was the first place where people actually knew it was Michael Stewart. When I was in college, I always called him Michael Stewart. I never called him Stu as well, but I had to call him both names.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky.
What do you call him inside your house?
Michael.
Okay.
Or Babe.
Baby lover. Poopy pants.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your family and stuff.
We've got 4 kids. We live a few houses down as well. And our kids are, right now, they are 9, 8, 7, 6. But they're about to be 10, 8, 7, 6.
Crazy.
So we have 2 boys and 2 girls. Our youngest son is from Haiti.
And he's been home almost
he's been home a year this month, September 10th.
September 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking through my pictures for something the other day, and I came across pictures of when he came home. And I was like, golly, you may not feel like this to you, but it feels like for me he's been here forever.
Yeah, it does seem like
it doesn't feel like just a year.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot longer.
I agree.
So funny story about the Stewarts is you've lived in this neighborhood for how long?
7 years.
7 years. I've lived in this neighborhood 4.5. Laura, how long have you
We've
lived?
almost been in the house 2 years, and
Okay.
then we were in the apartment for like 2 years.
Okay. So the neighborhood that we all live in, you would call it maybe an under-resourced neighborhood. And so when the Stewarts, one night, they invited us over for dinner, and another couple. And you guys invited us over because you wanted to share that you needed community in this neighborhood. Like you needed more families here. You couldn't just keep doing this alone. And so we're at dinner and you're like, y'all are sharing your heart and everything. And I remember Aaron and I left and we're like, well, we're going to pray they find people. Like, it's not us. But man, I hope they find people. And then it wasn't a couple months later till we looked at this house. And we were dropping our kids off at the Stewart's house for them to watch them for us to go out. And they're like, hey, there's a house down the street for sale. Y'all should look at it. And then over dinner that night, Aaron and I really were like, I think we could do this. And next thing you know, here we are.
Yeah, and then you brought the whole band.
And then we did. After that, everyone in Aaron's band moved over here.
Well,
crazy.
we stick together.
I know. It's good that way. But it's good because literally we can just walk to each other's houses. And it won't be long until we're like, I think I can send my kids to your house if I'm like watching in the street. The boys, at least. I can watch them go down the street.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the other day? I don't even have this pulled up. I should pull up this article.
That 6-year-old.
In Austin? This happened in Austin. This mom, the police came to her house because she was letting her child play down the street by himself.
Apparently a neighbor brought him home.
Yes.
And said, hey, your kid's out here by himself. And she says, yes, he's 6. Like, we've talked about the responsibilities of this. Which I think 6 sounds like a baby, like if it's your first. But it's not. It was like her 3rd or 4th kid. So I feel like, you know.
So the police were called?
Yeah, I think I read that he had been playing with the sibling. And the sibling brought the dog home. And he was still there. But CPS came to her house.
Yeah. Interrogated all of her children.
Interrogated all of her kids. So what do y'all think?
So it happened in this neighborhood?
No. Somewhere in Austin, though.
Somewhere in Austin.
I call it interrogation instead of an interview. Because I have been interviewed by CPS as a child. And I think that, you know, to have that go on in your house, you've got 4 or 5 children because a neighbor thought that you were being irresponsible. I think it just, to me, it's whatever. CPS is in place for a reason, obviously. But I think for me, it speaks more of like the distance that we have between ourselves and our neighbors these days. And that a neighbor couldn't trust that, hey, I saw something that seemed out of place. So I brought him back to your house and talked to you about it. You assured me that it was okay and you're okay with it. Yeah. I go home now. My job's done, you know? And I think that kind of blows me away that lady just thought, you know.
That the neighbor, you're saying that?
Yeah, that the neighbor, you know, didn't feel like that was enough, you know?
Okay, I'm trying to find her blog. She wrote about it. Sorry.
Oh, I just read about it like on Yahoo. Do you?
Yeah, she's I think a children's book author. No, the mom.
The mom did.
She's a children's book author and a blogger, and she wrote about it after the fact.
Oh, okay.
But you know, her point was just like they're kids. They're playing outside. You know, Aaron and I had a discussion just yesterday. I was like, it's so beautiful. The kids should go play outside. And he was like, well, what are they supposed to do? And I'm like, play outside.
Anything.
Like, anything.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, they're fine. I'm like, it's so beautiful. Like, just play outside. And they were at a friend's house watching TV in the afternoon. And finally I was like, I just want them to come home because I feel like it's been so hot here that finally it's not 118. We should all be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, I don't know, Story's 6, and I don't think I would let her walk down to your house by herself.
But
I think
probably depends on the kid and the neighborhood and the neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just like know, like Veda is so focused whenever she is doing something like new or like a new task or something like that. So she's 3, like she's not walking down to your house anytime soon. You know, each of us on our street, we have an intersection, cross street, before we could get to the next house. So I think that changes things. But I think that I would send Veda at an earlier age than maybe another kid because I could say, here's the risks. Here's what you need to pay attention to. You go straight there. Yeah. And she's so focused. You know what I mean? Like, she's afraid of breaking the rules more. So, like, you could probably trust Kaden better or whatever.
I think I've sent all of my boys to y'all's house.
Boys you've sent down.
Unattended.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think you just know your own kid. I mean,
Yeah, Story she's not very good at following directions. She just forgets. That's what she says. That's her reasoning. And I sometimes think she really does just forget.
Sure.
She's not as focused.
yeah.
That was crazy.
I don't know. We're in a weird stage right now because Veda wants to play outside, which is great. So glad that she's been starting to ask to play outside. But Mercy's not walking yet. Mm-hmm. So I'm the one that is just dragging my heels on, let's go outside, let's ride bikes, let's play. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, it's not fun right now.
Do you remember those little walker things you used to put babies in? With the wheels on the bottom? Do they still make those things? As if I'm that old of a parent. But you know what I mean? Like you put the baby in and they can move their feet.
Yeah.
Oh, like in the house?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you can put it outside.
Yeah, we have one of those.
Okay, so you can put her in that.
Yeah. I don't have any luck with that. My kids are pretty high maintenance. They're like, I'm sorry, I have to propel myself.
This is
I'm out.
rude. Hold me, Mom.
Yeah, pretty much. Veda is getting a big girl bike for her birthday.
Oh, that's great.
Like with training, she has that one where you just sit on it and move your legs, right?
So she had that. Wasn't big enough, wasn't coordinated enough, wasn't big enough, on and on. We put it away, forgot about it, didn't try it. Whatever the excuses are. Then she had her cast, almost
she
all
broke her
summer.
foot.
Yeah. So we're just now back in the stages of that. And honestly, it's about a month before her birthday. I think I'm going to get that green bike out and have her just
work on it.
Get an idea of what it's like to, hold on the handlebars and stuff like that. But yeah, the grandparents wanted her to have a bike. And so.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Did y'all do bikes early for your kids, Kimberly, or were y'all kind of slow in the game?
We did. We were slow.
We were slow too.
I think about everything. Though.
Yeah, we were slow about a lot of things
too.
too.
4, and we're trying to keep up with things. We just can't.
This is what I feel like with 4, and tell me if you agree. So Caden's 10 and Story's 6, so we got a 4-year gap. What's your gap?
About the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like Story and the other boys, they get things sooner, and Caden gets things later.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Because I'm
yes.
like, well, Caden's going to get it. Everyone should get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like they lose out on those privileges that they would as an older. I don't know. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, and that's where I just trust. Well, they were born at the right time, and that's what that child needed.
Yeah.
But we did. It's just like potty training and all those other things. You kind of look up and you're like, oh, am I ahead of the game or am I behind? And then you start doing it, and they learn. And sometimes when they're older, they learn quicker. And so then you catch up pretty quickly, and it's okay. And I think Wesley Grant was probably 7 or 8 before he even rode a bike and could ride without training wheels. And then Kelly came home, however, from Haiti, and said, "No, I don't want these."
The training wheels?
So we took them off, and he took off running.
I remember that.
And so then when we saw him do it, we were like, okay, everybody needs to ride without training wheels now.
No training wheels for anybody.
Yeah, so Karis still has training wheels, but I think, she could learn soon. But again, I think seeing the older ones pick it up quickly, even though we were late, it makes me not worry and say, well, when you're able to kind of go off and do it on your own, then let's do it then instead of fighting and making a big day of training. And so
we got Story a bike for Christmas maybe 2 years ago, and it had training wheels on it. And literally the second day she had it, because we got it used, the second day she had it, the training wheels broke off. It wasn't until the following fall that we fixed it for her. I feel like Story, just like the last kid, is just like, baby, you're going to have to survive somehow.
Didn't the boys teach her how to ride?
Yeah, the boys taught her how one day here in our driveway. And we got a bike rack, and we'll go down to Town Lake. And this is, okay, so talking about letting your kids go. Aaron, the last time we went to Town Lake, which Town Lake is it really a lake?
Yeah, it has a
Colorado River.
Yeah, it's dammed off. Yeah, so it's a lake in the middle of Austin. It's beautiful. If you come to Austin, you have to go to Town Lake. Just walk around, whatever. You can rent bikes now down there, all kinds of stuff. You can canoe. Just go to Town Lake. So we went to Town Lake. Aaron drew a map because there's 3 different loops. There's a 3-mile loop, a 5-mile loop. Well, there's a 9-mile loop.
Yeah.
So maybe there's 4.
The biggest was 10.
Yeah. So he drew them a map of where to turn and all this kind of stuff. And then we sent the 3 boys off with my phone and a map down Town Lake. And they've done that twice.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, Aaron, are you sure about this? I mean, my thought was they're going to get in people's way.
I do hate
because people are serious out there.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you saw 3 kids without an adult and they got in your way, you'd be mad.
Yeah.
You'd be like, where's their mom?
Yeah.
But you weren't there to see it.
I wasn't there.
Those kids are really cute. Like, part of me's like, no, I wouldn't. I love your kids. And then part of me's like, no, if there were 3 kids without their mom, I'd be like, okay, look, I have a stroller.
Yeah.
I'm walking. Yeah, Jimmie almost loses his mind.
Well, if I was like on a serious run, because not that I would do that ever.
I don't really know how that feels.
No, but if I were, I would be like, where are these kids' parents? Okay, I have a question to ask you guys. I need you to solve my problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk to you both about how you handle your kids' birthday parties. Because, Laura, you're about to do your first one.
Yes.
So you forego the whole first birthday shabam. So I want to hear about that. And Kimberly, y'all do things different at your house as well. With like guests and loving the guests and stuff. So last Story's birthday falls right around Thanksgiving. I mean, one year it was on Thanksgiving. So that's a crazy time of the year. And last year she never had a birthday party.
That might be your last year to like get away with that.
No, I haven't gotten away with it.
Oh, she wants another one?
Every
Tell
month.
her it's 2 this year.
Every month since then.
No, the next one's coming.
She's been asking. And so this spring, I said, you know what? We're going to have a half birthday. This summer, we're going to take your friends to the pool. We're going to have a half birthday. Well, y'all, I never did it. I never did it. So Story is still wondering when her 6th birthday is. But she's going to be 7 in November. What do I do?
Let her be 6 again.
Well, the other day I just finally said, because Aaron all along has been like, we're not doing it. Like, okay, you lost a birthday. It's no big deal. You know, life goes on.
Told her that.
He's been saying that forever, but I've been like, no, baby, you're going to have a half birthday. Don't worry. Mom will take care of you. You know, and then I was like, well, we missed that. Let's just have some friends over. Well, we just haven't done it, y'all. So the other day I finally said, we're not having a 6th birthday. And she started crying.
Right.
Oh.
What do? I don't want to have like 2 birthday parties.
You pick her up from school one day and on all the kids, and you have balloons in the car, or you have something that would surprise her.
Yeah.
And you let them know, like, Wednesdays is $1 cones at TCBY. Okay, so it could be a Wednesday.
Looky
Write it
there.
down.
And you say, we're going to celebrate Story because she is 6, and this has been an amazing year of being 6.
Yep.
And then you go take her, or bring her flowers or whatever. You fill her. You have balloons, and then you go get ice cream together as a family, and you come home. And
She would love that.
Yes.
Anytime Story's the center of attention, she's happy.
You don't even have to invite friends. Do it a family affair.
Yeah.
And it'll surprise her because she's been said yes, she's been said no. She has no idea what's coming.
This is the thing where I'm finally like, you know, when your earliest memories, I mean, I'm not a good memory person, so I don't remember much before 3rd grade. But a lot of people are like, remember things. I feel like this is going to be a definite thing where she's older and she's like, Mom, remember that year you promised me a birthday and you never did it?
But then when I surprised you with balloons and I took you to get ice cream.
I just want to say that if that was like a true fear of yours, maybe like the podcast isn't like the best.
Because this is here forever.
Yes.
Sure.
So,
or the blog or Instagram or whatever. Yeah, we've documented their lives.
She doesn't remember. There's going to be a time that Caden's like, I just want you to know. I can look this up for you.
Yes.
Mom never gave you a 6th birthday.
Yeah.
I like the surprise aspect. That's good.
Okay, I'm going to go for that.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
And I think like it's close enough to this next birthday, you know, if you let her plan that with her friends or whatever y'all do for birthday. I mean, I feel like that'll be a good comparison for her to go see. Like, it can be fun when it's just family and it's just about this. Or
you could even get her a little gift.
Yeah.
She gets to open a gift and get her balloons or flowers, whatever mean more to her. And then
It's like an I'm sorry gift.
No, it's a 6-year gift. She's lived a lot of days as a 6-year-old. It's time to celebrate.
That's true. Good. Okay, Laura, both of your girls have turned 1.
Right.
Veda's turned 2, and you've never had a birthday party for them at your house where everyone comes over and they eat cake and you do that. Why?
So Mercy actually got a much bigger birthday party, first birthday.
I wasn't invited.
Well, I was barely invited. So, so Jimmie's side, well, everyone in our family would prefer like a very big birthday party and a chance to celebrate and, you know, all of this. So, but my family is respectful enough and I just kind of skirt the issue and we have made it.
Why?
I can't understand it.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that I disagree with like celebrating their lives, of course. So don't hear that.
It's just not a value for your family to have a big party for a 1-year-old.
Yeah, I just struggle to believe that the party's for them.
It's not. It's for the adults.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you can throw, if you can throw a party for them and it's good and everyone's filled, then I don't know that I have like some really strong rule. I mean,
were you at any of my kids' 1-year birthday parties? Were you at Deacon's? Did we have a book for him? See, that's good.
I love that. And actually, that might be where I got the idea. Veda has a book. So y'all are going to get to sign her book.
We had a little like scrapbook like thing, and my intention early on in my parenting was to do this every year for their birthday, but it hasn't ever happened. But I may bring this back. I had like a little little scrapbook book that you book buy at Michael's that's like, it's a little bit bigger than note card size.
Yeah.
And then I took a picture of each guest with the child, and then later I put it in there, and then they wrote a note to them.
Yeah. So with Veda's this year, I did like a happy 3rd birthday. I got like a free Shutterfly coupon in the mail kind of thing. And so I gave me that idea. So I just put pictures between this last year, like from 2 to 3. And then when you guys come over, I want to put like everyone sign, either just like, hey, a note to the future Veda, or like, here's a character,
that's a good idea for a birthday
about
party
you that I've noticed. And I think it'll be huge. Veda is like a tangible love person, but not a touch person. And I'm so opposite that I really have to like think outside the box in order to love her well. And so that's kind of my other thing on birthdays is I'm just like, we don't do a lot of frivolous things. Isn't that like a weird word to define? I just went and got a massage this morning.
Right.
That's the least frivolous like money spending that I can think of. And yet like I know plenty of grown women that have never had one. Right. Yeah. So no judgment, I guess, just hear that. Yeah. But to me, a birthday party for a child that cannot understand what we are celebrating is frivolous. Yeah. I also really struggle with gifts out of like debt, obligation. I really struggle with it. And so the best way to not have that happen is to not have a birthday party.
You mean for the guests bringing gifts just clearly out of obligation?
Yes. It bothers me immensely.
Since you've talked to me about this before, it's given me so much freedom in going to birthday parties and not bringing a gift. I cannot tell you how many birthday parties I take my kids to and we don't bring a gift. And I need to sit down with my kids and talk about it because usually it's out of like, I'm in a hurry. I'm in a rush. And I also am not a gift giver. I'm not a very good gift giver. Right. So it doesn't come naturally for me. Like some people love to bless people with gifts. Right. It's not that easy for me. And so sometimes I feel like, especially if it's like just a friend from school that I don't even know their family, then I feel like...
That's 20 somethings. That's $25.
We do a $10 limit.
That are floating around that kid's house. You're doing this mom a favor.
I know. I know. No, but you know what we've done too is we've done in a card like we come join us for a movie.
Yes.
So an act.
Yes, and I've gone over that with my mom and my family that wants to give something, and we've talked a lot about that. Of hey, let's do something together, or take her somewhere, or something like that. I mentioned my mom because she sees the girls the most. So it's like, go do something with them and that will create a memory. So this is
first
her
birthday
party and she's really excited about it. We've gone to a handful of birthday parties this last year. Specifically like the last 6 months, they've all been princesses and she's not sold on that or know what they are. And but she's obliged and dressed up and done whatever her friend has said. So then we went with Donald Duck for a while and I was like, okay honey, I really
Donald Duck?
Well, so her best friend, if we have these things at 3 years old, her most consistent friend I should say, had a Minnie Mouse party.
Okay.
And so when she showed up and she wanted to dress up, it was like, no, I don't want to do this too much, right? Okay. So I think she just went like, what else is on the picture that's not wearing a dress? I don't know. So I quickly like put the kibosh on that. I don't know how to have a Donald Duck party and that sounds expensive. So she decided, I was like, birthdays can just be your very best thing, right? Like we can just go out to eat for your best thing or what's your best thing. And so her best thing right now is purple and pink.
That's what she told me last night. It's a pink and purple birthday party.
Yes.
That's great.
That's what we're having, guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like to I feel like when you have a family or you have a marriage or you have anything that you're working together, there are 100 different values that the world says that you should have in your family.
Yes.
You know, and so I feel like I love hearing you say that. And it's not like if you're listening or me who had first birthday parties, it's not bad.
Right.
It's not a value for your family. Like something the other day I said something to someone and I was like, it's not a value of our family.
Right.
So it's just not something that we're going to base our whole family on.
Yeah.
I think it's good that you've figured that out because a lot of people just do stuff just because, me included. Like there's so many things in our lives that we just do because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you do.
Yeah, I will say that I'm really glad that I figured it out too, because I think that it would be something that I was really like regretted. But I will say this. I think that up until like the last year or so, I had a really hard time that people didn't see it the same way. You know, that we didn't share the same values. So I think maybe that's just my own personal growth, or like as you become a parent, or, you know, just life experience that I started to go, okay, your value of, you know, monthly massage and my value of, you know, weekly this can be equal and different. And so I'm probably just starting to be a grown up.
Yeah. Kimberly, I want to ask you how you do yours too. But one thing I noticed about myself, and I probably need to figure this out too, as we're saying, is every time we don't bring a gift to a birthday party, I think my kids are the ones that feel like bad about. My kids want to bring a gift to their friends. And so I'm saying that, not even figuring out what I need to do about it. But I feel as though maybe my values are different than kids like to give a gift to their friends. And so I need to figure that out. I'm speaking out loud here.
Yeah. Good.
And so,
Kimberly, what do y'all do?
well, because Stu and I we're not gift givers. It's not really our love language, but we have family. Like my dad is so great at giving gifts, and he does a really good job with it, and it's his way of expressing love. And if we ask him not to, then it's that's taking his joy away. And so we recognize too that our kids might have a different view on things as well. And so we try to the parties come and go. We kind of plan it around the kids, their personalities. If they really like gifts, then we think through what we're really going to get them. If they don't care as much, then we might think through like the activity of what we're going to do. Or if some of them love lots of friends, and we invite lots of friends. Some of them love just a few friends, then we do just a few friends. So we kind of cater it to them, recognizing that they may not have even all the same values as Stu and I do.
That's good.
But one of the things that we do as a tradition in our family is that we have, it's like birthday morning. And so we started it, I think, when Wesley Grant was maybe 4. So we didn't start it early on, but we got the idea from a couple that mentored us, and they had 4 girls, and they always did birthday posters. And they were doing it up until they were going to they were in high school, and it was a tradition, and all of the girls loved it. And so we decided to, I think one year, I don't know why, it's because we had a 4-year-old, we didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
And so we made a poster, and it started out with just pictures and things, and we had it up, and we decorated like the table and everything. Like we themed that morning, catered based on what he would enjoy. And so then we would put streamers down the doorway and all that. So when they come out, it literally is like what some kids experience at Christmas, where you get up and there's all these things, and they get to experience that they are loved. And so what we value with that in our tradition is that as a family, we want to really celebrate one another, and we love that, you know, God made them that way, and that we need them in this family. And so as a family, if we can celebrate, then I feel like we've been successful. And the parties come and go, and some years we do them, some years we don't. But now, as the kids have gotten older, it's definitely an expectation of the tradition. And it's kind of hard every year to try to think through creatively how to surprise them again. But now the other kids, like if they're all old enough now that I don't stay up late doing the poster and decorating the table. But now one of the kids, like Sally's birthday was a summer, and she went to bed, and the other 3 had to stay up, and they all helped me decorate. And she loves flowers. Like she's just a soft, sentimental little girl. And so we just exploded the kitchen full of flowers, and we had it trailing down like the hallway. And
That's
awesome.
And we didn't even base her stuff on gifts. Sally didn't really want a lot of things, but she is a feeler, and and her senses are so heightened. And so she came out, and the flowers, just like, she had tears in her eyes.
Aww, Sally.
And everybody now writes on the birthday poster. And so we write about that year, or we write about what our favorite thing is, or why we need you in the family, and things like that. And so, so that's a tradition that we...
Do y'all save those posters?
That's tricky
now.
I'm
thinking about...
you know what? Yes and no. We've lost a few over the years. Some of them, they all have a memory box. And so I have, like, this last birthday, I pulled all the pictures off.
Okay.
And just threw it in their memory
box.
That's
good.
Because some things were written, but, you know, we take a picture of that time, and so they're out floating somewhere in the iCloud. So I don't know. Maybe someday they could get all of those, and we could put them in a book for them or something. And so I think for us, we know that in the end, like, they're going to remember the moment, and that's the memory that's going to stick with them, even more than a tangible
more
picture.
Than the gift, for sure.
Because if we do give them a book, or we do give them the posters, I mean, they're going to get married and have all these posters they're like taking with
Their
them.
wife is going to be like, no.
No, we don't have any room for all these things, you know. So I've had to let go of that. I'm very sentimental, and I want to keep things like that are special, but I really had to let go of that. So
that's so good. But I remember one time we came to a birthday party at your house, and Karis presented the guest with something.
Oh, yeah, like with little medals. Yeah, it was about
And it was like a character trait or something that she saw in her friends.
Yeah, and that year was catered towards, like, Friends was a really big deal that year for her, and it was the first time that she wasn't just little Karis, but she actually had friends and opinions, and we wanted to celebrate that. And actually in Spain, I don't know if it's just places in Spain or what, but when we were there one summer, they told us that the birthday person always buys the meal or gives the gifts to the people coming to celebrate. It's opposite of what we do here. Yeah. And so we thought, oh, that's interesting. That might be kind of fun to try. I mean, it's not like our kids were all excited about giving everyone else gifts and them not getting gifts.
Right.
But we just wanted them to kind of experience the celebrating of themselves, but also the year that God had given them and their friends. And so for Karis, that was... we made little butterfly medals, and I just thought through, like, each one of those friends had an impact on her character that year, and they all went to preschool together, and so I think the story was there, and so we just put that character on the little butterfly, and then just put it on them and told them.
It was so sweet. I remember that.
I love that.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Okay, birthdays. I love how you can just choose to celebrate the kid. I'm really, really bad about all of these things. And the way I'm bad about it is, like, the birthday will be tomorrow. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything. I can't make a poster. I can't celebrate them. I'm just like, I seem to live just day to day, week to week, that I don't ever get ahead. And that's a bad character trait of mine, is that I'm not... I don't know. It's not bad. I'm not trying to say that, but it's just hard for me.
Well, I've also learned to pull things in the house
and
celebrate. Sometimes I think we feel like we have to go buy new things, but I mean, Wesley Grant, we were getting close to his birthday, and it had been one of those weeks. I mean, his is in November too.
It's crazy.
And Stu and I dressed up. I dressed up like a cheerleader, and Stu dressed up like a coach, and we looked awful. And for him, I think that actually it did not communicate well with him. But we had fun. We all dressed up. I mean, we dressed up with things in our house.
So fun.
And he came out blowing the whistle, and we were like, it's somebody's birthday. And we were acting crazy.
Just like Pineco style.
Yeah, like Pineco counselors. And so we said, they were in their pajamas, and we were like, everybody get in the van. We're going to get ice cream. I mean, ice cream's always our fault.
Yeah.
We fall
Go to, yeah.
And so, you know, things like that, like, and again, it's the surprise, it's the difference that they remember that. I mean, to this day, our kids talk about how awful we looked. And
that's so funny.
It may not have communicated necessarily in the way that he wanted to, but the rest of the kids had fun, and everyone remembered it. And hopefully when he's adult, he'll know that we actually did love him.
He will.
You know, speaking of gifts and stuff, you guys gave Amos a gift, and I don't know if it was for his first birthday when he was here.
It was his fifth.
It was his fifth. It was his first birthday here, and you guys made like a little like photo book, and it had pictures of him that you'd printed off, and then y'all wrote stuff in there. And he still has that in his special box, and I find him looking at it all the time.
That's awesome. We had
so
two
like you
girls
didn't give him
living-
just like a transformer that would be gone by now.
Yeah.
But he loves that gift.
But see, I feel like that's the thing. Like, they're true friends that play together, right? And I think that's the other part, like, where I see that coming into our future at some point is like, your kids don't have friends at 2. Like, even Veda's very best friend right now. It's because her mom and myself get us together once a week, every week. So you're friends. Yeah. Like, you know? Yeah. And so I think that's my struggle too. Because like, if you can give a personal gift like that, I'd love to have that in my house. You know? I'd love for that to take up space in my house. But not.
Oh, I'm like going down Target aisles telling you have $10.
Right.
Good luck. Hopefully the clearance aisle is good today.
Yeah, the dollar
I mean, you know, I only spend $10.
Yeah.
And it's usually not wrapped.
Yeah.
Because we're not paying $3 for a bag.
Yeah.
I just,
now that they have chores too, they can pay for their own.
Yes.
Right? That's
Speaking of chores, I told Laura this last night because she was here. Kimberly, you have changed my world because I think I'm 3 weeks in of all my kids doing their own laundry.
Oh, that's awesome. They can do it.
They're all doing their own laundry and they're doing chores. Kimberly hooked me up. I might take a picture of this and put it on the blog, but you hooked me up with like a specialized chore thing that works perfectly with 4 kids for 4 days. So I'm really only asking them to do stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're just chill, take off, you know, but they're just doing stuff. And we're 3 weeks in. And like you said, the first week I had to literally go with everyone on every chore. Basically, not vacuuming because they've done that a lot, but I have to show them, you know, because my way of cleaning the bathroom and theirs don't always
very different.
Commute. Yeah. So,
I
but
have to give credit to Kelly Black.
Kelly Black told you about it. Yes,
she taught me all of that, and it has worked amazing in our house. So I passed that on.
Thank you, Kelly. I have tried to do chores. In fact, when I made this little chart and put it up, Caden, my oldest little smart aleck, he was like, "Mom, we've tried this before. You never stick to it." And I was like, you just watch. If for nothing else, because you just said that, we'll be doing this when you're 18.
Okay, so here you go, Kaden. You're in charge of the chores. Like, I can't stick with it. I'm the mom. I have to cook dinner.
Then
like,
you're in charge.
Kaden. Awesome. Make sure that the chores get done.
Well, this is what happened last week. Our dryer's broken, which is like the story of our life. And so I had to go do a lot of stuff at the laundromats. They've gotten off this week. And I'm like having to do all this laundry again. I'm like, man, this is a lot of work, guys.
Wait a minute. Friday's half day. You just have the laundry loaded up and take the kids to laundry.
Yeah, that's true.
Story's birthday.
Surprise. Hey, we have this new place down the street from us that's like a gas station / chicken.
Yes.
What is it? Chicken, like,
fast food? It's a KFC, but it's like a, what's the country that it's made after? But, I mean, it's got a Latin.
It's called C. Anyhow, it's this chicken place in the gas station that we could literally walk to from our house. My kids have been dying to eat there. They ask to eat there all the time. And Anna and I are like, no, we're not eating there.
Y'all,
that'd be a good
it's
treat
pretty
for them.
good.
I'm sure it is.
It's good.
So maybe we can be like, surprise, we're celebrating Story's birthday at the chicken place in between loads of laundry.
Get a car wash. Y'all take a bus trip to Mexico.
Yeah.
This place has it all.
It does. Yes. And they sell, if you ever need like eggs, milk, it's all there.
Yes.
Y'all, this has been so fun.
Yes.
This is like a regular Tuesday morning hangout.
Yeah.
Is our hour up?
It is.
Man.
I know. So fun. Y'all both walked here, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was going to get on to you. I have driven to y'all's houses before, for sure, but okay, it's a good exercise.
Unless it's raining.
Yeah,
or freezing, which that is like, what, one day in February.
Y'all, it's supposed to be really cold this winter. Get a jacket, Jamie, for the love. Get a jacket.
Note about me, I hate jackets.
Get a jacket.
Jackets.
I get why you don't want to put jackets on 4 kids. I do. But, y'all, it's cold. It's
No, the reason, here's why I don't like jackets.
Because they're grandparents, but I don't have a jacket.
No, my kids have like hoodies. I'm like, you're fine.
Okay.
A hoodie's fine. Like, you're good. I don't have a jacket.
Well,
you don't need a jacket.
Until my dad shows up, the gift giver.
The gift giver.
Yeah.
He's like, my grandkids are going to have jackets.
My kids already have jackets because of grandparent gift givers. Yes.
Maybe my parents need to send jackets. Send jackets to the children. No, but here's why I don't like jackets. It doesn't get that cold here in Austin. I mean, really.
Right.
And my thing is, when would I need a jacket? From my house to my car, and then as soon as I get in, I'm sweating because of the heat, and I take it off. And then I need a jacket from walking from my car to the school. No, just run quickly, and you're not even cold.
Jamie, not as soon as you get in. Those heat seat warmer things.
Laura cracks me up because she will come out in the winter with layers and jackets and vests. It's the buckle coming out of her.
Okay, y'all, who likes their spine all in a knot because they're cold?
Oh, I hate jackets. I hate jackets. I could never live in the north.
No, yeah. I mean, how many more layers could I wear?
Did you know in Montana they had snow last week?
What? Mm-hmm. That sounds awful.
Doesn't
they
it?
Get snow in like August. Probably.
Yeah. We were there. When were we in Montana together, Kimberly? Was it in July?
Or first week of August.
First week of August.
There was snow.
And there was snow.
That is crazy.
We went to Glacier National Park.
I think so, yes.
It was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Mm-hmm. If you're listening from Montana, you guys have it made up there. It's beautiful. And we drove through Idaho, which is right next to Montana, obviously. And I was just like, I would have never, ever thought, hey, Erin, take me to Idaho. I want to go to Idaho. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah. So wonderful.
Except for you have to wear a jacket.
I'll go in the summer, and a hoodie will be fine, right? Yeah.
We had hoodies. We were fine, weren't we?
Hoodies were great. It's wonderful. Oh, but I never saw a bear. Did you ever see a bear when we were there? That was like what I want to see is a bear.
By ourselves, we've seen bears, but not when we were there in August.
Oh. Okay.
Fun.
Yeah. Y'all, thanks for joining me.
Have a good day.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next week on the Happy Hour podcast.
It's time to say that he made it. He made it. Little boy cheated.
There you go, friends. Episode number 21 with Laura and Kimberly. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'd love to hear your answers to my questions for you. How much free range do you give your kids in your neighborhood? Do you throw a big first birthday party for your kids? And what are your favorite birthday ideas? I need cheap and easy because I have 2 birthdays coming up in November. Well, 3 if you count the one I have to do for Story from last year, which I still haven't done anything about. But anyhow, thanks for listening, guys. Again, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a tweet, Instagram, Facebook. I'm there. Come chat with me. I'd also love it. If you like the podcast, I would really appreciate if you'd leave a comment over on my blog or on Facebook or on Twitter. What really helps the podcast get more people to notice it is reviews on iTunes. So if you love it, I'd love a review. And I hope that you guys enjoy the happy hour. I hope you have a great week with your friends and family. And any links that we discussed will be over at my blog. And if you want to find out more information about Laura and Kimberly, check it out as well. It's jamieivey.com. And I will see you next week on the happy hour. Thanks, guys.